Hey guys, it is Tuesday morning. Welcome to Cornerstone Live. My name is John Kight. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I'm so excited to be with you. There we are. There I am. So good morning to y'all. We have got an incredible call lined up today, and again, we're working hard. I don't know why I'm freezing up. Am I freezing up to y'all or just freezing up to me? Can y'all hear me? Are things good? I'm gonna wait till I get some feedback, just so I am not talking to myself here. So I hope that we're good. Are we good? Can you guys hear me? Okay, great. Thank you. So fired up about today. I've got Mike and Ollie that are joining me today, and we are, just like last week, we are making strides to this call/podcast. And so hey, I'm excited. We are taking the next steps in, like, you take how awesome. You guys remember it was when we first introduced, the Equus Nation introduced dial sessions, right? We first introduced dial sessions, and it was like, man, that's so cool. We hear other people dial. We get to dial. It's more of a community. And so we adopted that. Nobody better than the Ollie Collins Difference Makers organization. They sort of became tops of Equus at participation, at numbers of appointments. It was all good, right? And then Mike Hall had this great opportunity that, hey, why don't we join forces, and why don't we have a big dial session? Like, why don't we get all of the Cornerstone group? Why don't we come together on a Saturday morning? Why don't we get an incredible lineup? Like, think about this, guys. I mean, this like could be a wish list, right? Let's get an incredible lineup of elite producers, and let's have them stack on top of each other making dials. Like, how cool would that be? Like seriously, like can you think of a better training platform than plugging in on a Saturday for 5, 6, 7 hours and hearing the Cornerstone group's top elite producers? I mean, these are the same elite producers that are some of the greatest success stories in all of America, not just the insurance industry, but all of America. And you get to hear them do their thing. You get to watch them do their thing. I mean, it's like if you were a basketball player and you dreamt about playing in the NBA and things like that. I mean, how awesome would it be to be able to go and see Michael Jordan practice? Like, if somebody said, hey, listen, man, we're going to open up the doors, Chicago Bulls auditorium, stadium, Coliseum, whatever it's called, and you get to come in, and why don't you just watch Michael Jordan practice? I mean, do you think that you would learn anything by watching Michael Jordan? Sure you would. Do you think that your belief level would go up? Sure it would. Do you think that you would be inspired? Sure you would. And so that's the same thing as these dial sessions. But now we are making the step up. And again, it was Mike Hall that said, hey, listen, I've got an idea. And that's one of the main things that we're going to be talking about today. Sturgis Kidder says, I'm frozen. I know, Sturgis, I'm looking at my screen, and it's like, it's awful. Like, I don't know what's the difference in yesterday versus today, because I did yesterday's Equus financial call on the same format. So, and it looks like I've got a strong wire. What's going on? But I promise you, we will get it fixed. And I know how frustrating it is looking at that screen and seeing nothing but frozen stuff. So I'll limit my time talking, and I'll get Mike and Ollie on here. Let me just give a shout out. Brand new writers this week. Michael Witcher, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Michael's a brand new writer. Sean Sykes is a brand new writer. Samantha Taylor, Sheena Thompson, Arnita Jones, Micah McCoy, brand new riders this week. So proud of you guys. And I'm going to make strides every single week to give you guys a special shout out. I apologize that I did not do that the last couple of weeks. And we'll continue to give a shout out to, thank you, Brett. Brett Grossman says it's choppy, frozen in and out. Sorry about that. Again, I don't know what's going on. If anybody's got any technology savviness to them out there, and they maybe can tell us what's going on. It looks like I've got great, looks like I've Wi-Fi, so I'm not really sure what is what's going on. And again, this is the same format that I used yesterday. If you guys plugged into the Equus call yesterday, it's the same format I used. So I'm not sure, was I choppy yesterday too? If I did, nobody alerted me. So, okay, top 25. You guys rock, man. I'm gonna tell you that, right? Coming in number 25, 6 applications, 49.26. Jennifer Jordan. Jennifer's a brand new field underwriter. I think Jennifer is down in Barry Tuzo's organization, down under Patty D, Patrick De Lorenzo, and Jamie Trent, the Cardinal Financial Organization. Jennifer, way to go. Nine applications for 4,956. That's good enough for a 24 spot this week at the Cornerstone Group. I'm just amazed. You guys, man. Philip Bell. Philip, 1 application, cap 5,000, and it looks like you wrote an annuity last week of 532,000. That is phenomenal. Congratulations to you. Lamar Anderson, looks like I won a new at 5,000, 12,490. Well, I do want to confirm that is an annuity, not an IUL, because Equus is no longer capping IULs, correct? If I'm correct on that, let's but 5,000 cap, 12,490 uncapped. Way to go, Lamar Anderson. Charles Poole, 5,000, 578 in 5 applications. Jason Brown, 3 applications, 5,000, 595. We were with Jason this past week down in Alabama, Auburn, Alabama. Demetrio Frosto, golly, man, one of my favorite names to say. 3 families help, 5,627. Andrew Pappas, Mr. Andrew Pappas, 3 families help. I would consider that kind of a like. So Lamar was a smart UL 12,000, so that should be 12,000 across the board there. Thank you, Brett. 12,490 for Lamar Anderson. Way to go, Lamar. That's a pretty big smart UL right there. I love smart UL. Love them. Andrew Pappas, senior sales manager. Eventually will be district manager and regional manager. 3 families help, 5,724 to be the type of producer where you would look at that as, I don't know, Andrew Pappas coming in number 18. Man. Yeah, used to see an Andrew top 5, but pretty awesome. Pretty awesome that's what he's created based on his name. Larry Frazier. 2 families help, 5,876 is the capped. 200,876 uncapped, big annuity there. Tommy Edwards, 7 families help, 6,180. Love the number of families help. Love the ratio there. That's a big time week right there, Tommy Edwards. Sales manager, virtual sales, 9 families help, 6,806. Big time week, Kyle. Tyler Bosch, sales manager. Look at this ratio, 7 families help for 7,097. That's a great week. Number 13, Louis Gregnano, 5 families help, 7,123. Loving the ratios there, guys. JR, baby, not J.R. Ewing. We've got Johnny Roberts, senior sales manager, 4 families help, 8,013. Matt Pertussit. Golly, man, Matt Pertussit. Definitely, he is skyrocketed in the world of Equus Financial is one of the top producers, and just all around great guy. 5 families helped, 8,866. Uncapped, 210,989. That's a pretty awesome week there, Matt Pertusa. Jimmy Pyron, sales manager, 7 families helped, 8,161. JP, he's an old mortgage protection dog. He knows that's a great week right there. Great ratio. Courtney Williams, 2 families helped, 8,637. Uncapped, 16,063. Big week, Courtney. Maxwell Akinsenwa, regional manager, leading from the front. 7 applications, 9,299. Love the ratios. Love the week. That's awesome. Giving you a high five there, Max. Elaine Capron, sales manager, 2 families helped. 9,580 cap, 251,580 uncapped. Way to go, Elaine Capron. Lisa Kurtz, 6 families helped, 10,287. Love the ratios. Big time week. Although your premium is a little bit higher than the number of apps. So, Miss Lisa, next time you have a week where you have higher number of apps and lower premium, you know it's just averaging out, right, bud? James Gomez, 6 families helped, 10,502. Same goes for you, James. Douglas Wright, same goes for you, 10,602 on 6 families helped. Uncapped, 18,058. Great week, Doug Wright. Wow. Can't say enough about Doug and just his ascension in the world of Equus Financial. Danny Farbrio, sales manager, 3 families helped, 15,000 capped, 675,810 uncapped. Rock and roll, Farbrio. Number 2, Stand By Me. Stan Smith, district manager, 9 families helped, 16,688. Uncapped, 41,688. Rock and roll, Stan Smith. Stand By Me. Love it. Love it. Won't you stand? I heard that song the other day. That's Stanley Smith, man. That's Stan the man. Daniel McCray, number 1, national manager, leading from the front, 19,093 capped on 9 families helped. That is a rock and roll week. Uncapped, 285,343. Daniel McCray, you are freaking awesome, dude. Week in and week out, you bring it. Like what is it? Like, you bring it, man. Love it. And the thing about it is that if I were on your team, I would walk around just like knowing, like, man, my leader, the top dog in my organization, man, he rocks. Like, he brings it. He leads from the front. He doesn't sit around managing me. He doesn't sit around calling me, asking me this and that. My guy's out doing it. I love that. Love that. Love being led, hate being managed. Love being led, hate being managed. So, hey guys, man, was really excited about the call yesterday, and excited to share with Equus Nation, and going to actually have the next few weeks to really get a good message across, and yesterday kind of set everything up. But one of the things that I do want to get Mike and Ollie to share a little bit about today is just, the opportunity that we have, the season that we're in, right? I mean, we're in the summer to remember. Equus Financial's totally, I mean, what Equus Financial's done by taking a full service IMO, and they have attached to it IMO level contracts, not only for distribution builders, but also big time producers, and no smoke and mirrors about it. No circus sideshow about it. It's just all right there in front of us. And, one of the things that I will say is that right now during this summer, we ought to be creating massive momentum as we go through this summer and we go into the fall months. I just think it's going to be one of the most exciting times. I think Equus right now, we talk a lot in this organization about sowing seeds and about what seed sowing is. I believe that the greater Equus right now, I think Equus is sowing a seed that that this coming latter part of the summer and this coming fall, I think Equus Financial is going to explode. Barry Clarkson has talked to me. There are some people that have taken note of Equus Financial. There are people that are coming on board Equus Financial. There are organizations fighting to get out of their IMO and come to Equus Financial. And it's just exciting. It's an exciting time for Equus, and kudos to Equus for really having the guts to sow. It takes guts to sow. It takes guts to sow. Everybody wants immediate gratification, but it actually takes guts. Instead of it's like when somebody's broke and in need of money, the easiest thing to do is to go look for money. That's the easy thing to do. But what the books tell us is that the worst thing to do, if you're in need of money, the worst thing in the world is to go look for money. That's the worst thing in the world. The best thing in the world is to fix what created the money shortage in the first place, right? And it all starts with us. I posted this morning, and this was on my heart. It starts with us. The seed is sown in us. And the seed of daily discipline and doing the things we need to do day after day eventually produces a harvest that everybody sees on the outside. And to everybody, it seems like it came so quickly. It came so quickly. I mentioned to you guys that I am a glutton. Well, not so much a glutton, but I love success stories. I watch wrestling success stories, like these backgrounds of these star wrestlers and how the decisions they made early in their careers, the struggles that they went through, eating one can of tuna fish a day for 5-6 years, just trying to make it in the world of professional wrestling. I love watching stories of, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and so these bands, these mega bands that were so successful, I love going back and watching, like, how did they get started? What were the struggles? What were the daily discipline decisions? What was the desire that they had, the massive desire that led to the personal momentum that they decided to create? And what did we say personal momentum was? It was massive action. And to those bands, it was going and playing these, for lack of a better term, sucky venues every single night for no money, but just having the opportunity to go do what they do. And you combine that massive action with mental toughness. And that's the one thing that I see in every single success story. No matter if you're Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Nick Foley, whether you're a Pearl Jam, what doesn't matter. Every single one of them had that mental toughness, and that mental toughness was just simply the resilience to get through every single day and overall be optimistic about the future. I love that. I love seeing the struggle and then seeing the victory. I love seeing the struggle, the night after night, making no money, sleeping in your car, playing these sucky venues, and then all of a sudden, man, it's like you snap your fingers and, man, you're in front of coliseums full of people that are singing their songs back to you, man. It's a beautiful thing. And if you don't think that we have to do the same things that they had to do, oh, man, you're so off base, man. That is success in whatever realm, whether it's being a rock star, whether it's being a wrestler, whether it's being an athlete, success. There's one universal group of success principles that you have to apply. And so anyway, two guys that have been doing that for a long time now in their careers, and it's awesome to see the growth in their organizations, are Mike Hall and Ollie Collins. And again, I've got Mike and Ollie that are going to be joining me the rest of the time. Mike, let's start with you, man. We were on the phone a few weeks ago, and you said, man, I've got an idea on how to make these dial sessions better. And Ollie was like, man, I was thinking the same thing. No, that's not what he said. But he said, man, that sounds awesome. We had a conference call last week with the elite producers. And this week, we're actually putting your plan in action. And I just think that it's going to serve our organization so well. So let's explain to the Cornerstone Group what's going to be happening starting this week and what we're committing to the rest of the summer.
Hey, man. Well, thank you so much for having me on here today, John. I really appreciate it. And hey, look, I don't come up with many ideas, so I appreciate it once a good one pops in there. You know, I'm thinking about my time in this industry. And I am such an introvert to the core that I remember when I got started. I mean, literally, I can't make this stuff up. I mean, this thing called a phone, and it makes no sense to me, but this thing was so much scarier than even going to Iraq, you know, with the Marines and infantry. And being able to have that ability to be able to get together with other people that are going through the same thing and experiencing the same thing, you know, to me, that was powerful. And I remember when I got started in the business, John, we had these physical dial sessions that I would go to, and I would dial brand new in front of my group in person in the office. And that put a lot of internal peer pressure on me. But I got to be honest with you, I don't know that I personally would still be in the business if it wasn't for those dial sessions. And so we start thinking about, you know, I thought it was incredible that we started doing these a while back. And, you know, one of the things that we've been talking about is how can we streamline things more? How can we simplify things even more? How can we help people cut the minutia and just go run as fast as they can? And so, you know, I know that it's not for everybody, but we were thinking the other day, and it's like, okay, well, I remember when I was dialing full time in the field, I loved dialing on Fridays, right? Like I could go out there and book my entire week in 2.5 to 3 hours, where it would typically take me maybe 3.5 to 4 hours on a Saturday. And I thought, what if we had these people, these elite producers, right? The elite producers, the managers, the people that are leading by example, if we had them dialing, look, they're going to dial anyway. They dial all the time. We don't need to micromanage these guys. They're going to be making their money. They're going to be sitting and helping families. What if we could get them on a Zoom link, and it's the same Zoom link, and a brand new person can go in there and watch? And it's not to put a show on. It's to show the brand new people that the elite producers get the same crap that they get, that people are going to hang up on them, that people are going to be nasty, that people are going to holler at times and not a lot of times, and that they're going to be okay, that they're going to survive it, and that they can minimize a lot of that just by staying in control and being confident and convicted about what they're doing. I think about someone like a Brian Mansdorfer that dials on Fridays that could plug in. I think of somebody like a Jamie Trent that likes to dial on Friday mornings. It's going to be able to create that environment for people to plug into. I'm thinking about a Tyler Bosch, right, that dials on Wednesdays, or a Claudia Matthew and a Flor Garcia that dial on Saturday mornings. Or maybe we got out there in the West Coast and we've got like a Mike Treese. You know, man, Mike is a superstar. Watching him on Saturday's dial session, just his personality, his humor, how he handles with people, just his people skills. And it's like, what if instead of trying to make people dial at a certain time, what if we just opened it up? And anytime someone dials, we use the same link for consistency, and we create that environment. You said it earlier, nobody wants to come here for a job, right? Nobody wants to be told what to do, to be micromanaged, to be able to put a thumb on, but everybody wants the freedom and the ability to be able to go run hard and be able to create that. So here's what we're going to do. Starting tomorrow, and I'm super excited about this because I think this is going to be incredible. And John, you said something last week that I want to reiterate. And you said that you believe that we've got the best leaders in all of Equus. And I'm telling you, we've got some incredible people. And what I'm so excited about is being able to highlight the leadership of the elite producers that we've got and what they're doing and what they've gone through. Because John, you just said something too about overnight successes, right? Everybody sees the overnight success. They just don't see the 20 years of struggle before that. So starting tomorrow, we're going to have a dial session in the evening. It's going to be from we'll get the times out, but typically they've been from 6 to 8:30. We're going to have a dial session that's going to be run. It's going to be on Ollie Collins' link. We're going to keep it consistent. It's going to be password dials. All of the dial sessions moving forward are going to be on that link. So we're going to have a dial session as of right now on Wednesday evening. We're going to have one on Friday morning. We're going to have one on Friday evening. We're going to have one throughout the day on Saturday. If we've got any elite producers that like to dial on Sunday, we can do Sunday. But here's another incredible thing. We had this meeting last week with the elite producers, and we were talking about this. And Kevin Hopkins said, well, hey, what if I want to have a pop-up dial session? What if in the middle of the week I need to dial and I want to jump on this link and I want to open it up for people? Say I want to get on Facebook or GroupMe or Band, say, hey, guys, I'm going to have a dial set. I'm going to jump on and dial in about 15 minutes if anyone wants to join me. The fact, I think one of the toughest things in our country is building a business in our country today. The fact that we've got the ability to come together and to be able to do that with each other and feed off of each other in a positive way, man, I'm just fired up about it. I don't know if you have any. I don't want to keep going on about it, John. There's a lot that we need to talk about. Any questions about that?
No questions. But Ollie, you sat there and you listened to Mike on that phone call, and he was laying out his thought process based on this same thing. And I mean, it was just it was so simple, but the way it's going to serve the greater organization. I mean, I want you to think about it. We do have the best leaders in the whole industry. I don't think that there's an organization out there, not only in Equus, guys, but industry wide. I don't think there's an organization out there that has the type of leaders that we have. And I believe that to the core of my being. And so when we take and we divide that up and we have these several dial sessions that people can plug into and people can pick their times and for all the good things that dial sessions bring to us, I just think it's a big win, not only for the organization, but I think it's a big win for the brand new writers that are looking to get traction out there. Because let's face it, these dial sessions, they're not for the Andrew Pappases of the world to book their 15 to 17 appointments, okay? These dial sessions are not for Tyler Bosch to get on and book his 15 appointments, okay? These dial sessions are for the brand new people and creating an atmosphere. Think about if you've ever joined a gym, think about how you feel. You can be lukewarm, and all you have to do is get in your car, drive to the gym, and walk in the front door. And the very moment you walk in the front door and you smell that smell, you see people on the treadmill, you see people working. It's contagious, right? The atmosphere is contagious. And there's a lot of people that will tell you, I do a lot more working out because I go to a gym than if I were to stay at home and try to motivate myself. And so these dial sessions, guys, it creates that atmosphere that for new people can really not only teach them, but more importantly, motivate them to take action. And ultimately, that's the business we're in. I mean, I know a lot of people like to think about the training and I got to have knowledge and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, man, we're an action first business, and you'll never, ever change that. So, Ollie, I think that you've seen that throughout your career. You've got a dynamic organization that I think, again, as I said in the beginning of this call, I think you guys have been the flagship, even though it was Matt Weiner and his organization that introduced the dial sessions. You guys quickly became the flagship for all of Equus. So any comments from your end, OC?
Well, yeah. And John, thanks for having me on the call. Really excited about this. When you look at the things that it takes to be successful, I think you get so many parallel stories. That's why John was able to tie in success stories from the world of wrestling or music and kind of relate that and get fuel from that, as he runs his race, as each one of us run our race and do what we have to do. And, so much of what we do until we develop the habits and the routines, that the habits and the routines are what are going to get us through the difficult times. Not every morning that you wake up do you want to go do the work you need to do. Not every morning when you have it on your calendar that today is a dial session or dial time for you, is that something that you want to do. And the habits and the routines you develop will help you on those days. What we're able to create with these dial sessions, with the talent that we have across the Cornerstone team, with the ability to lean on one another, is we're able to create an environment for you to develop those habits. The reason why people join CrossFit gyms, the reason why they have a workout buddy, the reason why there's these, boot camps that they say, workout boot camps and things like this, is because you are stronger together. You gain strength from other individuals, you gain inspiration, and there's also a sense of accountability, especially when it's oftentimes doing something that you don't want to do all by yourself. Having that accountability, having that quote unquote running buddy, those are the things that get you to show up. They get you to the starting line. And when you get to the starting line, and if you just keep showing up over and over and over again, what happens is you develop those routines and you develop those habits. When you're a new agent, you probably have an activity tracker that you're working off of. That activity tracker is crucial. It allows your hiring manager to try to help diagnose maybe any issues that you might be having. It allows your hiring manager to critique you, make modifications as needed. But once you develop the habit, you'll probably find that you're not using the activity tracker as much as you used to. I bet you if you asked a Daniel McCrae or, Brian Mansdorfer, a Doug Wright, if you ask some of these elite producers, the people that are at the top of the leaderboard, if you ask them how many phone calls they made last week, they probably won't be able to tell you. How many leads did you have? I don't exactly know, but they know how many appointments they set, because that was the goal. See, because they've developed enough skill and now they've got a habit where it's not so much for them anymore about the activity. They know they're going to put the activity in. For them, it's about the results now. And so it's really interesting to see, the evolution of that. It's really cool. I did a training on Friday, and I had asked a couple of elite producers how many phone calls they make, and they were like, I don't have any idea. But they did at one time. But now, because they have such a habit and they're so focused on hitting their goal, they don't have to worry. They just know they have to put in the work. They have to put in the work to get the results. They're not so much worried about how much work. It's just whatever it takes to get the result that they want. And so we want to provide that atmosphere for everybody. We want to provide for your brand new agent that's picking up the telephone, for the first time on a Wednesday, and they're going to be making some phone calls, and they don't have to wait until the Friday dial session. And you don't have to worry about them making phone calls alone, where that little voice inside their head starts to talk a little too loud to them and starts to tell them that, that they're not any good at this and they're not supposed to be doing this, or it shouldn't be this hard, or whatever your little inner voice starts to say. The cool thing is to have an environment where there's an elite producer making dials that they can learn from. If they have questions, they can ask questions. They can be encouraged, maybe even have their call listened to and coached up a little bit on their call. How awesome is that your new agent will have that environment multiple times a week to plug into, and it's not always going to have to be you there helping them and guiding them. It's going to provide a protective, supportive, encouraging environment to help them grow, and they're going to develop the habits that are needed to succeed. they're going to hone their skills over time. You know, John was talking about bands, and you know, I remember hearing a band on an interview one time, and I don't remember the name of the band, but they said, you know, you seem like you came out of nowhere, like you're an overnight hit, an overnight sensation. And the lead singer of the band said, well, if we're an overnight sensation, it was the longest night in the history of the world. Because then he proceeded to chronicle their journeys of traveling around the country, playing small venues, you know, getting heckled, you know, having no one in the audience, living in a van, you know, just doing all the things that they needed to do to grind it out and to hone their craft. You know, if you ever watch a biography on Ed Sheeran, you know, I remember it was probably back in about 2014 that I had heard of him, and somebody was going to go see a band, and he was opening up for this band. And I said, I promise you that guy's going to be the best act that you're going to see. And they're like, yeah. Well, when they came back from this concert, that's all they could talk about was this guy that walked out on stage with a small little guitar and a backdrop and nothing else. No background musicians, no background singers, no other instruments, nothing else but him and his guitar and a few foot pedals. But see, Ed Sheeran honed that craft over years and years and years of not only playing small venues and dive bars, but understanding that he didn't have the money to pay for a backup band, and he needed to develop the talent and skill to sound like he was bigger than a one-man band. And you listen to his guitar playing, and he still can walk out today into an arena or a stadium with him and his guitar and some foot pedals and a microphone, and he can captivate an entire crowd because of the skill that he's developed. And kind of an overnight success, but again, the longest night in the history of the world for his story. And see, when you see a Daniel McCrae or an Andrew Pappas or, you know, a Claudia Matthew, I mean, the elite producers that we've got on Cornerstone, you know, please remember that they've honed their craft, they've gotten into a routine, and they've developed habits that give them the success, you know, that lead them to the success that they want in their life and that they want for their business. And we're providing that environment now for new people. We're providing it for each and every one of us who that little voice talks in our head a little bit loud sometimes. It's one more chance to associate. It's one more opportunity to show up with the team, to get your reps in, and to get to the goals that you want. So I think what Cornerstone has, and I think what Cornerstone has put together with these dial sessions, is going to be something really special for the people that take advantage of it. So please understand the power of this. I know that you're okay. I know that you can dial all by yourself because you've made tremendous, you know, habits and routines in your life. What about that new person on your team? Please encourage them to plug into these dial sessions to give them the start that they need and the best chance to succeed possible. Okay. Thanks, John.
About the atmosphere and making sure that that little voice doesn't jump on your new person's shoulder. It's amazing how that happens. You know, it's amazing. I said this yesterday on the Equus call, that the secret of all secrets that we hope is not a secret anymore, or we hope that it's not a secret inside of the Cornerstone Group, is the fact that there is no field underwriter from Brandon Hall on down to Stanley Smith, Andrew Pappas, Daniel McCrae. There's never been a field underwriter that has successfully learned how to sell people without a need. Okay, it's just not going to happen. That's why you do numbers. So the secret of all of these producers that I just mentioned is the fact that they put the numbers working for them, and most every week it works out in their favor, because not because of their phone script, not because of their in-home sales presentation, that most likely tends to be different for every client they meet with, you know, but it is the numbers that they go through. And it's amazing how it's so counterintuitive for new people to think that success is what I say. It's the presentation. It's me handling the objection and overcoming it, and then getting them to sign their it's not that at all. It's not that at all. We do inspire confidence based on our knowledge, but we have to get the knowledge somehow, right? We inspire confidence. We inspire like and trust based on our knowledge, based on our passion, most of all, based on our passion for living benefit life insurance and what we're bringing into that household, right? And so the secret of all secrets, from an S quadrant standpoint, is nobody's ever figured out how to sell the unsellable. And the secret of all secrets from the B quadrant standpoint is nobody's ever figured out how to hire the unhireable. Okay, so we got to elevate, we got to raise beyond that. Plus, we have to elevate Cornerstone Group. We have to elevate our full-time writers, guys. And here's the thing, and Mike Hall, I'm going to turn it to you, and I'm going to turn it to Ollie for just last comments. But, guys, we have to elevate, and here's what I mean by that. If you consider yourself full-time, I don't care how you choose to market. If you choose not to buy leads, that's on you. I can't dictate that. We don't have we're going to mandate what you do. But here's what we do have to elevate. Our full-time people, you can't be issue paying less than $30,000 a month. Like with the system that Equus gives you, seriously, with the system that Equus gives you, you consider yourself full-time. Your family thinks you're full-time. How do you issue pay less than $30,000? I don't know how. I issue paid on average. I issue paid somewhere around $28,000, $25,000 to $28,000 a month, and I was not full-time in the field. Okay, not nowhere, shape, or form. My field time was 2.5 to 3 days in the field. Now, somebody might say that's full time. Okay, but I'm gonna tell you, if I can do 25 to 28,000, you should be doing 35 to 40,000. Okay, but I'm just saying, let's elevate, guys, with the lead resources that we have, with the sales resources that we have now, with this almost round-the-clock dial session elite producer example that we have, along with in-home concierge and all of the value that we try to bring to our agents. Let's elevate our expectation. And so I'm done for today. Mike, I'm going to turn it over to you. Any comments you have, and then you turn it to Ollie, and we'll wrap it up.
Man, well, I so much appreciate you, John, and I appreciate you too, Ollie. You know, I really love this Cornerstone Group, and I'm super excited about the direction we're headed. And, you know, all of this comes down to this. And what I'm about ready to say, look, this isn't a race, right? It's not a sprint. It's not like we need to just run. But the reality of it is that there is a sense of urgency. The time is imperative right now, but the time's going to pass either way. And, you know, Barry Clarkson talks all the time, John, about how there's a beginning and an end to everything, how things are always changing in business. And I look at the journey that I've been on. I look at how many years of hard work it took to be able to get to the comp levels that we have today. And I look at all of this, all of the evidence around from all these companies that have already partnered with integrity, this integrity effect that we're talking about. You see these companies doubling, tripling, quadrupling. That's getting ready to happen to Equus, right? Like, this isn't a talk about how do we get people to go do more to get us to a better place. Like, Equus is getting ready to explode. There are going to be some businesses that are going to explode. They're going to look completely different next year. And this is our shot. After these next 69 days, we can never say that we never had a shot again to be able to jumpstart ourselves. I can hear a lot of conversations over the last couple of years of people saying, well, if I only got started when they did, Well, if I only had the ability to have that comp level. Well, the reality of it is, John, is that a winner's going to win and a quitter's going to find an excuse and they're going to blame somebody no matter what. But I want to give a couple of shout outs before I toss it over to Ali. And I want to highlight some people because this is incredible. The top 4 people in the trustworthy hierarchy that have paid bonusable premium for the month are all regional managers or above. As a matter of fact, John, the top 2 people are both national managers. We got Jamie Trent with over 27,000 already issued and bonusable, over 53,000 in uncapped premium. And then we got national manager Daniel McRae with over $24,000 bonusable, 31,000 uncapped. And then we got 2 regional managers, Carlos Bastardo, over 20,000 issued, and Claudia Matthew, just shy of 20,000 issued. These are people that understand the opportunity at stake and they're running with it, right? And so here's the thing. The time is going to pass. Nobody can make anyone do anything. Change is one of the most difficult things in the world to do, and we can't make you do it. But when people are ready, and that's what this opportunity is for, because we can't make anyone go do anything. But when someone's ready to get out there to change their situation, and it's crazy that Equus has even put this opportunity in front of us. The fact that you could go out there and literally go from a 70 to a 120 in 60 days is mind-blowing that we even have that opportunity. But you know what? You can't make people do the things that they're not willing to do. And, I'm so excited to be a part of this group. I'm so blessed to be able to have leadership like from people like Barry and Rob and Bill. And I'm so blessed to have the leaders that we've got on this group. We've got some incredible winners that are doing some incredible things. And this is just going to give them the opportunity to showcase themselves as well. So, guys, here's what I would say. My last tip before I toss over to Ali is stay out of your head. Don't worry about your thoughts and your feelings. Just go do the activity. Your thoughts and your feelings are a liar. Go set yourself loose. Go do the activity, whatever it takes, whatever you can do to block the noise out for the next 69 days to go see how good we can be. And let's just see where you fall. Go shoot for the moon. Try to get the 120. What if you come up short in the end and you go from a 70 to a 90? Or 70 to a 95. Have you done the math to see where that's going to put you financially next year? And I know I said already that was the last one, but here's the last tip. Don't come into this like a diet. How do diets work? Right? You go onto a diet to lose some weight. You change your habits for a certain period of time. You get the effect that you want to get, and then you revert back to the way you were, and all the weight finds you again. Look, I'm the king of talking about that, right? The benefit of what we've got going on right now, if you approach it that way, you're just doing your business a complete disservice. I would use this. I would use the gift that Barry, Rob, and Bill have given us to trick your mind into creating new plateaus, to trick your mind into getting yourself better. Because the reality of it is, if you can create new habits over these next 69, 70 days, and you can not only just get that raise, but now you're developing your skill level to that next level. You're shifting into that next gear. Do the math to see what that's going to do for you and your family financially next year. Ali, hey man, I appreciate you, and I'm going to toss it over to you, sir.
Hey guys, if you are over the age of 35 and you've gone through a lot of stuff in your life and haven't had all the success that you want, your little inner voice might scream a little louder to you than what it did when you were 25 years of age. You got to find a way to shut that voice up. Read, associate. If you drive by a house, I believe what I have on here right now, what we have on here is a bunch of people that when they drive by a nice house, as I kind of cut through some of the back roads from my house to my mom's place, there's a really big house going up. And, and when I see that house, I'm like, oh man, I wonder how big that is. That thing is huge. That's going to be $1 million+ house. And I wonder how much acreage they have. I wonder what that guy does for a living. And these are the things that go through. I'm like excited. I think that if I met the guy, I'd be like, man, I'm so happy for you. Your house is awesome. It's beautiful. And I think we've got people on here that when they see a boat or a car, we don't say things like, oh, I wonder what those payments are. Or, I wonder what, that house. I wonder what it costs to get somebody to clean that house. Oh, I'd hate to have to clean that house. I wonder what their heating bill is or their AC. I think we've got winners on this call. I think we've got dreamers on this call. I think we've got people that see success and they know that they can have it too if they just focus hard and put in the work. So many people are flocking to Equus right now. And guys, what Equus has given us the opportunity to do with the Write Your Own Contract here this summer is unheard of. It's a chance for you to go get yours, for you to show us what you got, and for nobody to get in your way, and for you to be able to leapfrog all the way, as high as you can on that compensation grid. And so, I had heard somebody who was giving a feeble attempt at recruiting somebody away from Equus, and they had said, what does Equus do for you? See, but that's what they say to everybody they talk to that's at an IMO. Like, well, what does your IMO do for you? And so when I was doing a training last week, I actually wrote it down on a whiteboard. I mean, I went through a litany of things that Equus does for us and the opportunity that Equus provides for us, that I promise you, some of these large organizations, these people that have been other places and are looking at Equus, they see all of that and they see the value in all of that. If you've never been somewhere else, maybe you don't understand that, but trust me, to leave Equus, man, would that be an eye opener for you if you went somewhere else, because you would realize exactly what Equus does for you. And maybe that's something we could cover, in another training session in depth about what Equus does. But it is pretty amazing. What it really comes down to is work, 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 15 appointments a week at least. You've got to book at least 15 appointments a week. That's going to keep your cash flow good. That's going to give you enough swings at the plate that you're going to be able to hone your craft. That's going to be a great starting point for you to then get to 18 and 20 appointments a week. If you've already been at 15, hopefully you're stretching yourself. It really does come down to work. I would read the stats to you, but it would take a little long. But my sister booked a tremendous number of appointments over the weekend. And when you really look at what she did, it's nothing that anybody couldn't do. It really comes down to work. It comes down to desire. It comes down to you wanting it and for you creating the habits and associating, because that's what's going to help that little voice quiet down. 15 appointments a week. And I'm just telling you, this is going to be an amazing summer for each and every one of you, an amazing opportunity for Cornerstone to grow with all the winners and all the success that we have on this team. Please be a part of it. We don't want to leave anybody behind. We want you to all come along for the ride. So, Mr. John Kight, thank you for having us on the call today, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Ollie. And for those of you guys, you might be sitting out in front of your next appointment. I want you to jump off and go into that appointment. But for those of you guys that are just hanging out, maybe you can stick around just for a few minutes. I want to just put up, I got the whiteboard right here behind me. I'm probably backwards. I hope I'm not backwards. I think there's something when I go in, I click and I'm not backwards. But this is something, and if I am backwards, that I'll just create a standalone video to this. But this is you, and the thing that separates you from all of your dreams and goals is this one word called distribution. Okay, that's the one thing that separates you, distribution. We have the sales side, we have the S quadrant, and we have the B side, the building quadrant there. So sales, you just heard Ollie say, full-time is 15 appointments, okay? But whatever your number ends up being, you want to book the number of appointments that put success in your favor. When when you book 12 to 15 appointments, how many sales are you going to average? Let's say 5 to 7 sales is what you're going to average. It might be a little bit more than that, but this is what you're going to average. On the building side, when you hire a batch of 12 to 15 people, this is 12 to 15 appointments. This is 12 to 15 people. When you hire a batch of 12 to 15 people, how many people are going to, the cream rising to the top, how many people are going to prove that they actually have desire? Let's say somewhere around 5 to 7. Okay, it may be 3 to 4, it may be 4 to 8. But it's somewhere around 5 to 7. Do you guys see the similarities? Okay, so on the sales side, can you do this every single week? Why? Cash flow, self-driven cash flow. Can you do this every 2 to 3 weeks? Can you hire a back? If you're doing cold market recruiting, you should be able to hire a batch every 2 to 3 weeks. If you're doing warm market recruiting, it might be every 4 to 6 weeks. But if you hire a batch and you identify 5 to 7, and then you understand the skill level that you have to hire those 12 to 15, when you go down into depth and you learn how to take your skill level and hire people for these people, go down in their warm market, go to their hometowns, drink a cup of coffee with them, get to know them, share the opportunity with their closest friends and family, and start building depth, you will find you. You will find duplicators. And when you find duplicators on the B quadrant side, your business grows. Thank you guys so much for plugging in today. Cornerstone Live. I love Tuesdays. God bless you guys.